having that cup of tea or coffee is the domestic violence, or because of not having that cup of tea or coffee, what will happen through you is domestic violence? Little more clarification. Anything that you say or do, I promise to use it against you. You are also compelled in the flow. See, sometimes we find people who get into the offices and other places, and in the morning, they're like the sunflower in the sunset time. What happened? I think I need to get a cup of coffee to kickstart my day, to jumpstart my day. At a physical level, water boiled, spoiled to be called tea or coffee. Hot, non-fat, decaffeinated coffee. What is it? Water boiled, spoiled to be called coffee. And if that is not available, the entire day gets impacted and there is a domino effect. Right? Physical level, likes and dislikes. Some of us have this, the things have to be in their place. I'm taking this is again another physical level. If it is not, Bhadrakali avatar. अदरवाइज दूरवासा अवतार, इसको कहते हैं आ बैल मुझे मार. You get to that terrible state and agitated you start, and you continue that agitation forth from one experience to the other, to the other, to the other, and even before 1/4 of the day is gone by, you are already sapped out, you feel frustrated, you feel down. Another pattern. I mean, similarly at emotional level, similarly at an ideological level. This is how children should learn, this is how children should be raised, says the husband. I say, nahi, aise bhi kar sakte hain. And you can do like this also. No! Again, at the level of conviction. We have our own set likes and dislikes. And the funny thing is, we think we are raising the children in the best way. Do your damned, don't your damned. They'll come back to say, I am like this only because of you. You made me like this. Why didn't you correct me then? Probably it is a statement that you say to your parents as well. Based on different convictions, ideas, ideologies. We have our own favorites, we have our own dislikes. Identify and list them out. And what kind of patterns that it evolves into in your day-to-day actions. List those patterns out. Now, once you have done this, if you are being sincere, what you end up seeing on that paper will leave you disgusted and disenchanted with your own self. Don't give up yet. You will go through this experience. When you see yourself with that naked perspective, it is not something that we appreciate, it is not something that I like. to see so well portrayed. Don't stop, don't drop. Have you ever hand washed clothes? All of you? So first you take water, add detergent in it, soak the cloth, right? After the cloth has been soaked for a while, when you look at that water, how does it look? It's dirty, right? Looking at that dirty water, do you give up washing the cloth? It's just a beginning. You cannot stop there, right? Thoroughly, what do you call that? Scrub. And then add fresh water, rinse, and then nichodify. Squeeze doesn't cut it. Nichod mein jo dum hai, squeeze doesn't cut it. So you squeeze the water out. Then the cloth has become clean. Looking at the initial dirt that it releases, do we ever stop washing clothes? In fact, for that very purpose you started. So that initial phase of lackluster, depressive, disgustful thing that you write, it will be impactful. Don't stop, don't give up. It is the next step after this, which requires, which is the actual reformative, transformative process. Prioritize them. How do you prioritize it? Of these patterns which are based off of our likes and dislikes, prioritize them as to what pattern of my own self frustrates me and irritates me, agitates me maximum. That a simple little thing in that layer happens and I am all worked up. That which triggers me to that state of agitation, quickest, fastest, long lasting, that is the highest priority. That which triggers sometimes, maybe sometimes not, may not agitate me that far, maybe just irritates me, write it down as the lowest priority. Is it clear? Highest priority to lowest priority. Now turn the page again. You have prioritized it. That which is the most irritable trait, pattern, write it down as to what or where the triggers are. What triggers it? Which likes, dislikes, which environment of application of this likes and dislikes, among which kind of people that this like and dislike impacts me to trigger to that state of agitation. Identify them. Each one of the patterns developed, each one of the patterns recognized, dedicate a page. Write down the details of it. With this, what you have achieved, accomplished, is 50% of your problem has come to a resolution. We have identified the problem. Identifying a problem is 50% solved. Now we have to start identifying what are the things that I have learned through Bhagavad Gita and how it can be applied. This process is called Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya doesn't just mean reading the scriptures. that every day morning you wake up and start reading the scripture. धर्म क्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेता युत्सवाः मामका पांडवाश्चैव किम कुर्वत संजय श्री गुरुचरण सरोज निजमन गुरुसारी वरण रघुबर जोदाय गुबलचारी विश्वम विष्णु वषट्कारो भूत भव्य भवत प्रभु भूत भाव भूतात्मा भूत भावना. And done. My spirituality is done. खाक हुआ spirituality. तोते को पढ़ा अभी रट लेगा. Even a parrot, there are some breeds of parrots that you teach and they'll start repeating these things. Not that it makes it any spiritually evolved. Swadhyaya is a process wherein you learn and see how it can be applied. Where? In these patterns that are there, which make me dance according to their tunes. And now when you reflect on your past, of all those agitated moments, of all those disturbing moments, we would find that 90 to 95% of the situations, the key factor that contributed to that agitation are three aspects: I, me, myself. I was the one who did this. But what I have become in the pretext of claiming maturity is to quickly, slyly develop a pattern who to blame and make them feel responsible for my agitation so that I feel good. I mean, I've heard as mean statements like, जब से तुझसे शादी किया मेरे भाग ही फूट गए. Since the day that I got married to you, my life has been ruined. It has started, all these patterns started between the spouses. To the children, since the day that you were born, I've heard parents say that to their own children. And we think that it is being mature to nail someone else in a coffin for all the agitations that I am going through and to blame the entire world around seems to have been understood or misunderstood as the evolved process of mature existence. How long will we keep playing a role of a victim? We were never the victim. We were the victimizers through and through. Once you have recognized these patterns, some of them may take few days, few months to correct and put in those corrective measures to be independent of those patterns. Some may take few years. Some may take the entire life. Still, don't give up. Having thus worked on all these patterns, when the mind is truly set free, that you tap into your creative juices, that you tap into your true potentiality. For such one, whether it is in the outside field of accomplishments or the inside field of meditative equipoise, things become seamless. Until then, any one of these patterns can be a trigger One triggers, and like, in the morning something happens, and doesn't it impact your rest of the day? It's contagious. That I take it from this experience to the next environment, from that environment to the next environment. The boss was angry. He scolded me. I came back home, scolded the son. The son got irritated and irritated the dog. And the guest came in and he was bit by the dog. See the contagious domino effect? We corrupt, moving from one experience to the other, our own lives. And every such whirlpool that we create is dragging us down, pulling us down, sucking us in. One goes down, the rest of it is also gathered and everything starts going down. That's when they say that, life sucks. Because you are the sucker at the other end. Because we never pause to evaluate our own self. Once this evolutionary process is put into practice, can there be any action performed without a conscious relation as to what pattern, what is triggering it, that you become more conscious and awareful of? Can you exist without that pattern after having done this whole exercise? Thereby it starts reflecting in every aspect, every detail of your interaction inside and outside. This is truly called a transforming process. Without having taken care of this, if we come and say, I don't know, many people who come and say that, Swamiji, all this pravachan and things are okay. Tell me when you are going to teach us meditation. Because we have heard good things about it. Meditation is a beautiful and a resourceful process for somebody who has worked on their inner self patterns and removed all these layers one by one, setting that mind free. Then such mind can be guided to the inner quietude. It is stuck in these bound, and the bondage is heavy. And then you sit on the seat of meditation. There are only few things that can happen. You have a rocking experience. Some go forward in meditation, some go backward in meditation. Or get scared of all the trashy thoughts that keep coming up. Get scared of it and get out of it and say, Nare Baba, I was better off without doing the meditation. By doing meditation, all these agitations are increasing. Once we have assured ourselves of this corrective measure, then sky is the limit. Ichha, dvesha, or here dvesha and kanksha, likes and dislikes. That when worked is the true key to the puzzle of our life that provides us, having worked on this, provides us sukham. That is where we find peace of mind. That is where we find the quietude where we can start basking in joy and happiness. With a mind so frustrated, small, beautiful things happen in life. We are not available. We are not open. We are so caught up that these beautiful glimpses that we get, it never occurred to us that, oh wow, this is such a beautiful thing. I went to somebody's house and there was a beautiful garden, and there were these, a very tiny plant with beautiful flowers, nectarine, I believe. There were a lot of these bees that were hovering around. So I went down and in a macro lens, I took a photograph and then posted it. And the host, the lady, said, Swamiji, that photo, it was so beautiful. Tere ghar ka hai. It is of your houses only. Oh, is it? It is right there in front of you and you're not available for it. Children evolve. In every step of evolution, in every step of growth, there is such maturity that they're growing with. No, we are caught up. A minus, A plus. We are brown, for God's sake. And all the dialogues that go along with it. You will have to get it if you are living under this roof. I promise you, you will not be even fit enough for flipping the burgers. हाँ जी, वो बुड्ढों के लिए, after retirement. He said grocery bagging. I said that is for elderly. थोड़े सालों में. We are not ready. We are not even enjoying that growing process. Beautiful sunset, beautiful sunrise, including that cup of coffee or tea. It is not like it is being cherished. It's like next. Nice, beautiful weather. In the morning, there is that, light drizzle. And it is falling through those fall leaves. And first time in Dallas, you have fall colors also. Such cherishable things happening. But it is blindsided. Why? Warped up in our own I had to gulp down few words. In our own idiosyncratic patterns. And once this is done, the same life that you are in, the same pattern that you are living in, it appears with a new shine, with a new glow. There are two things that I can promise. One, life will never seem boring. Life will never seem mechanical. Living the lives of responsibility and duty, you can never feel burnt out. You may be tired, but in that tiredness, there is tripti. Tripti, immense satisfaction. You don't need somebody else to come and pat your back saying, wow, you've done an amazing job. You know it for yourself that you have delivered the best that the situation was demanding. And that satisfaction is uncomparable or incomparable. First. Second thing, once you have worked at a pattern, ironed out the details, removed all the wrinkles, there is no slipping back into that pattern, provided you have done it with your own self-interest and consciously worked at those patterns. I had done this exercise in 94, and it took me about a year to develop and identify all the patterns. Some I could work. I recognized about 36 such patterns. The topmost was rage. My own patterns. The topmost was rage. Unless I'm messed with and pushed to a corner, it doesn't reveal itself. And if it gets out, it doesn't get contained. It was a very high priority thing. And there were other, based on my own individual idiosyncrasies, 36 of them. And 94, this is 2012, 2015. So how many years? About 21 years. So in these 21 years, I can say I'm still working on the last two. Whose cell phone? Do you know that if cell phone goes off, you have to pay $50? And it comes from your pocket money. Okay? I mean, I'm not saying that I'm the standard here. I may have been lousy at working at it. It depends on the intensity with which you are working. There is no shortcut to this. And the amount of unburdening that you feel, that is the sure method to find stress-free existence. Unnecessary stress that we have developed, we feel unburdened from it. Now the homework is clear. I hope. Is the homework clear? So this would be a good way to resolve a life rather than wait for a new year to set a resolution to bring in a change. Bring in this resolve not because it is a new year. Bring in this resolve because you want to be a new you. You want to be a new you who is evolved. As far as the resolutions, I have decided that definitely one thing that I'll change my resolution in. My TV screen. I'll change its resolution. 4K UHD. मेरे ख्वाब थोड़े छोटे हैं. Any questions?
How much do you value someone else's operation of the past?
If you trust them, you take account of that as well. And if it's somebody who is testing you, pushing your edges just for the heck of it, I won't take that into consideration. But somebody that you trust, somebody that you admire, somebody that you revere, somebody that you respect, you can take their view into account as well. It does help, but it will help in an enhanced way once you have identified these patterns and found solutions that are applicable. So it is not just intellectual thinking, it is pragmatic application of that thinking process. And once you have done that, the intellect needs strength to observe those disciplines. And your chanting will enhance the intellectual strength to work through them with tenacity. But otherwise, it will be just mere chanting. It may have a certain impact, but it will be hundred folds once you implement this. I thought I saw. Yes, sir. How do you remove that fear? That where there exists clarity and wisdom, fear gets dispelled. Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. And that fear is also a layer of your expectations, which is born out of your likes and dislikes. Think about it. Okay. All the best. Have an amazing vacation. Stay warm. And it is warm outside these days. In 15 years, I have not seen such a warm December. So, and have a great vacation and a happy new year to one and all. I'll be visiting Sri Lanka this winter for a Chinmaya organization for rural development project. I'll be going with about 9 students, 9 Yuva Kendra members. There's a lot that has happened in the last 35 years that the entire country, especially the northern country, is still reeling through the effects of it. So many destitute, so many orphans, so many landmines. There's at least 3 generations or 4 generations that have grown up since 6, 7 years with AK-47 landmines and bombs. So you can imagine the chaotic lifestyle that they have gotten out of, and Chinmay Mission is trying to rehabilitate them. So this would be a scouting thing to identify those which can be packaged in such a way that the children or the youth from here can go once or twice a year and give their resources and services to rehabilitate them. Once I come back, I'll report it back to you. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.